Peace, 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 people. Yesterday, I believe I was told through a post that Anja, Afreeca, a couple of months ago was going to expose witches in the diaspora. I'm going to show the post real quick. She was on a whole nother mission. And I can't believe I missed this post, but I have been looking at her videos as of late. And so Kiki, I guess, discovered this post that she did a couple of months ago, and I want to show what she said. Look forward to me exposing dark witches, practitioners in the diasporic community that have visited Gambia and acted as frenemies to monitor and cast spells. I will be exposing shapeshifters, incubus, and dark empaths as well. And I just wonder, who could she be talking about in the so-called diaspora, which includes the United States and America? And it just comes to mind with me speaking about dark magic, or people that served the devil, people that were witches or warlocks. I've been on this kick talking about this type of topic. And some of that comes from me studying up on Anja, Afreeca as well, because of what she's been revealing and exposing. In this video, I want to showcase what is going on spiritually with witches and whatnot. There are a couple of videos that I want to showcase again of Anja, Afreeca a little bit later. But first, I wanted to go to Dr. Mambi because she says some interesting things on her video in relations to witches and what that means about energy, because siphoning the energy from people, witches are trying to do. And I believe Anja, Afreeca have mentioned the siphoning of energy. People are trying to be energy vipers to her. So she said around about a lot of the things in which this video is going to describe, and I want to showcase this video first. Fair use of all videos for educational purposes, for research purposes, observational purposes, under 107 of copyright, and also for reality checks realized and lies denied. Let's listen to what she has to say here.
We were either wicked people or bad people.
Let me go back a little bit.
On that platform, family, we appreciate, love you so much. Definitely consider supporting us either through a love donation on PayPal or through Patreon, family, so that we can continue to bring you more of the news. We have actually...
And by the way, please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
From, toxic bosses, toxic, families, toxic spouses. And congratulations, family. Congratulations. It is not easy to do. But the general vibe I get in all your emails is like it took a switch of perspective. It's like you had to come from a place where you didn't believe in yourself. Like once your image of yourself changed, everything else changed. And I wanted to do this show to kind of remind us, because sometimes, the childhood was so heavy, family. There was so many illusions. There were so many lies told to us. There was so much grooming that was done to make us believe we were either wicked people or bad people, or we had no morals, or we were like this, or we were like... There was so much put into that, family, that it's taken up so much room in our lives and blocked any kind of us really knowing who we are until such a time as this, because there is a miraculous grace to release, to purge a lot of this and jump into different timelines. But I thought, as a reminder, I would talk today about, were you the one they sacrificed? Just so that you can know.
And just think about how sacrifices are done, the purposes of sacrifices. A lot of times people acquire more power, more money, more prestige, celebrity, fortunes, all kinds of things, which causes people to sacrifice. Money rituals are done in certain areas of Africa or throughout the globe, I'm guessing, and other sacrifices for given unto a god or a goddess or a demon, all kinds of different things that people are doing out here that we are not privy to a lot of times if you're not, aware or come in contact with this kind of conversation. So I just want us to, understand where she's coming from, talking spirituality and also, again, it's going to be on the spiritual realm of understanding. Let's go.
That you're not going crazy. That the voices in your head were actually the voices of God, the Most High, or your guardian angels. And that you were never dreaming, like they were as wicked as they said. Because you see, the world we lived in was based on the God-Jesus matrix. And I'm not even here to debate all that. But it was all that thing of blood sacrificing. And sacrificing to a certain, to Moloch. I've done so many videos about that. Where Moloch gave those who sacrificed to him, this god, power and wealth and all that thing. And a lot of the secret societies still use that.
And keep in mind, secret societies, there are various secret societies that have been around from eons ago. There are sororities and fraternities that are part of this. There are Boule, Freemasonry, and other Illuminati, other types of secret societies I don't even know about or have a clue on. But they have traditions, rituals, secret things that they do that are wicked. And I think that Anja, in a lot of ways, has tapped into some of that happenings in the Gambia. I really feel in my spirit that she was connected and seen a lot of things in that regard, witchcraft and dark type of black magic. So just keep that in mind. Let's go.
That's why when you go amongst the so-called elite family, or those who are in secret societies and their lives are moving a certain way, if you get to know them a bit deeper, you'll see that they have caged either one of their children's destinies, one of their siblings' destinies, somebody's destiny somewhere has been changed so that they could prosper.
Anja talked about her family sacrificing firstborn and stuff. Really, went in. I think her last post, let me bring it up. Her last post was talking about that. So this just brings to mind Anja and what she's been talking on. She talked about participants in demonic first newborn rituals for wealth. So this is why I am bringing this up, because she was into the mindset of what is happening in the spirit realm, how people are getting other people involved into these types of activities, either purposefully knowing or sometimes not knowing at all. But she was pointing fingers and searching within herself to try to explain these types of things to us.
If you look at a lot of the politicians, even here in Kenya, take like the top 5 to 10 and then dig a little deeper to see whether they lost a mother, a father, a brother, a sister.
She's pointing at these individuals in governmental places might have been partaking in these types of things to gain and acquire power. She's alluding to this right here.
Some will even go to the length of their own child. Go and see, look at when they were starting their campaign season, because Kenya is seriously the blood sacrifices are too much. These guys are just doing it so openly.
And Anja, Afreeca had said that she was supposed to be a designated sacrifice, that she pointed fingers at an herbalist saying that type of conversation. I just find it fascinating that this conversation is spreading more, and that I've also been talking about witchcraft and the demonic side of things because she did.
Like, especially after this presidency came into power, Mara, the deputy president, they had to go to his brother's funeral. Then Sijui, the governor of where the child, whoever has died. Like, just have a chronological look. Or if you get to know those families closer, there's always one, always the most gifted one, who has either gone heavily into alcoholism, who is depressed, who is almost caged at home, who has nightmares, who they'll try and convince you has some kind of mental disorder or another.
And a lot of people try to depict Anja, Afreeca as being mental and having a disorder. So I want to get to a video I just recently found of hers, where she was talking about spellcasting and images and binding. This is a video I have not seen this entirety, but I thought it was an interesting title, and see what she had to say just a couple of months ago. This is 2 months ago.
Greetings and welcome to Spirit Knocks of Brooklyn Mosaic. So you know we back with another one. Today we're going to talk about ways that people cast spells or try to use magic. I mentioned in the last video where I talked about, my face, my skin. And I did that because I recently found out that someone tried to cast a spell to either have me have skin like theirs, which is very poor skin, or skin that's problematic, breakouts, acne, pock marks, whatever their malfunction is. They don't like my complexion, so they've done things to try to darken it, because it makes them uncomfortable, I guess. All this beauty could be a bit much to handle. They've done things for me, maybe like, you don't look your age, so I'm gonna make you look old. Like these kind of spells. It's sad, but it's true, and you all should know that people do things like this. I heard someone say something, and it made me think, if it's not good, then it's bad. And if it's bad, it's not God. And I was like, that hit hard, right? Or you could apply that rule to anything in life. So my clear complexion, my healthy body is good because it's God. If I was sitting up here all inflamed and diseased, that would be that lower vibration. That's a spirit. We don't realize that. We think these things have scientific explanations. We don't look at the spiritual explanations. Okay? So I'm good with God. So I'm good. It's that simple. Everything is good. Everything is abundant. Everything is beautiful. I want for nothing. Because I don't think of anything that I need. I have what I need, right? So we talked about that. So let me talk about images. Did you know that someone can look at your picture on a screen and send you low vibration energy? You probably say, yeah, I know that. But did you know they could do a spell? They could take a screenshot or a picture of you, put it in a jar, bury it in the earth, put it in a freezer, say whatever little hoodoo they want to say over it, whatever little low frequency energy they direct at it, and cause you harm or cause you some type of dysfunction, like procrastination, self-doubt, like all of this crazy stuff. People do this, y'all, and we're not talking about it. And because we don't talk about it, we are unprepared. So I want to talk about it, because here's the thing people don't realize that's out here casting these spells. They claim to be proper witches and know what they're doing and all this extra stuff, right? But here's one of the key things. Before casting a spell, your body energy and mind energy must be in tune and free from any negative energy, resentment, anger, hate, discomfort, and distraction. See, that's where they messed up. Because when you know that, you know you're doing it with bad intentions. So what you think is going to happen to you? Karma is a real thing, right? We know karma is the B word. But karma is real, right? You know, it's kind of like when they say, well, God might not be there, you know, all the time, but he's there just in time. That's how karma is. You think you got over, you think something went so smooth, and you know you went about that in a foul way. So what you think is going to happen to you? Tenfold. You have to pay the consequences. You got to pay the piper. Nothing is free. So you walking around in this 3D realm, and you think you're good. But in the spiritual realm, there's a case taking place. Right? You're going to be accountable. You're going to be held accountable. And I just happen to be walking justice for the spiritual world.
And what's interesting about what she's saying, she's just walking in justice in the spiritual realm. Today on Residential Tourists, there's a guy that was talking about trying to go to Washington to get people interested in trying to find out about these deaths in the Gambia. I don't know who he is exactly, but I wanted to play what he was talking on, and then we'll go back to Anja. But her case in particular has gotten a lot of attention. A lot of people have been doing videos on her, showcasing her videos. Her major video about the stalk video is now hit 7,000 in her passing. Rest in peace to Anja, Afreeca, Andrea Martin. And so these 6 deaths are garnering a lot of attention right now. I want to showcase this guy. It's not this couple right here. He's about to come up in about a minute or so. But he is adamant about trying to get the 6 cases attention to bring awareness about the deaths. He believes that most of them are suspicious, and he basically said the women were all murdered. Let's listen.
So, let's bring Mr. Colin, our elder firecracker. It's going to come and let us know how we're supposed to be.
By the way,
dealing with these type of issues.
When we first came to Rwanda, Mr. Colin was one of the first, if not the first, that came. He visited us. He sat with us, and he gave us, a bit of a foundation there. So we are really indebted to Mr. Colin. Anyway, we'll bring Mr. Colin on. Let's see. Give me a moment. I'm slow with these things here.
It's kind of like, wait a minute. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Colin, make sure that we want to do audio with you. Make sure you can be heard because we want to hear every word that you're sharing and saying. So let's make sure we can hear you. Please, everyone, let us know.
Testing, I'm here, I'm present, I'm ready to roll. Did you hear me? Oh. I'm here, I'm present, and I'm speaking. I'm ready to roll. Did you hear me? I don't know why I have a problem hearing me now.
We can hear you. We can hear you, Mr. Collin.
Okay, you can hear me loud and clear? I'm hearing a slight echo of my voice.
He's a little bit older, so he's not understanding just yet that they can hear him, and the thumb is just equivalent to saying it's okay. But I don't know who he is, but he's about to go in about the deaths in the Gambia.
Go ahead, Mr. Collin. You got it. You got it.
Okay. You have a question for me?
Okay, so let's dive in with the question. So you and I have spoken over the course of a week and a half or so, something to that effect. And as I mentioned, you reached out, you shared with us really your passion, your energy about this particular matter here. And you told me straight off the bat that you was going in. You're going to get all the necessary parties involved. You're going to the highest to the lowest to make sure that we look into these matters the way that they should. If you would, could you just share with us what it is that you had done thus far, who you reached out to, and maybe where we are at this particular point in time?
Okay, thank you, my brother. First of all, I recognize some of the names that's coming up on the screen. And I just want to give a shout out to Lady Visionary and her husband, Patrick. I just saw them on the screen a moment ago. All right? They are up here in Mushanti. All right. As you know, America is broken down into, government is broken down into three levels. The executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. The executive is what runs the Department of State. The Department of State is what houses all the embassies around the world. The Department of State also handles the Department of Justice, right? That's how America is set up. So I'm talking to some attorneys, a couple of black women who worked for the Department of Justice, who have since retired. I'm talking to a brother in the National Black Journalists Association, right? And I'm waiting for them to get back to me, okay? I sent them all the information that I have of the names of the ladies who died suspiciously, and also the lady who was brutally murdered, okay? So they're the ones who could put things in motion in Washington. And once the Department of Justice becomes involved, then we could talk about the trained FBI agent who do this kind of thing into the Gambia. Now, let me say one thing about that. We have a tendency of saying, well, we are black, so the American government will not help us. But I could tell you two instances where the American government went to bat for black people in African countries, and another instance where they went to bat.
I'm not quite sure who he is. He looks like a retiree somewhere, but obviously he has connections. He's talking about wanting to start an investigation in the deaths of the women in the Gambia. The 5 women with suspicious deaths, and of course the one who was brutally murdered. I believe he's a Pan-African because he's going to talk about Pan-Africanism. And, you know, despite these murders and stuff, people are trying to massage away the notion of single black women going to the Gambia is not really it's not really safe to do. They don't want to say that. They just want to talk about we need to do other ways of doing things so that it could be more successful going over to Africa. But him and his interest in this case or these cases, I mean, I don't know where it stems from, who he represents as far as an organization. Hopefully he will say so. Let's see.
A black lady in an Eastern European country and got them justice, right? I won't go into the details of that online, but I know this for a fact because I follow these cases clearly. This was back in the 80s and the 90s, back in the 80s when I was a college student. All right? So let us put that to rest. Okay? Now, keep in mind, what are we dealing here with, brother? We're dealing with cold-blooded murder. Okay? Cold-blooded murder. Nothing less than that. A woman got her head and her skull bashed in by some idiot. For whatever reason, we don't show yet because no case is in court. I watched the press conference of the chief of police of Gambia. Let me say this. I don't know how the police handle things in Gambia, but this man broke the chain of evidence. Okay? When he handled the evidence out there in public without any gloves, anything protecting the evidence. That is inadmissible in an American court. Right? That is not professionally done. You cannot break, they call it the chain of custody, I believe, is the legal term for it. One of the sisters in line, who is an attorney, I think in New York, I'm not sure, she was talking about that. This is a police officer, a commissioner of police, breaking chain of custody right then and there. Okay? So that is as far as a technical or a procedural position that should not happen. That's number one. Number two, let me just respond.
This happened at the Gambian press conference in reference to Shekinah's, Shekinah, who was murdered by, Sierra Leonean, who used a sledgehammer and bashed her in the back of her neck with it. So these crimes this particular crime that was so heinous, luckily it was handled, it was solved easy, but it was handled reckless because the people at the press conference was just touching on everything and showcasing everything on the camera without gloves, without it being sealed, anything like that. So they really didn't take it serious enough. And if that's the attitude of the Gambian police, then you can imagine the attitude of forensics or any other type of profession might be a little bit on that level of just being unprofessional. So I think he feels like professionals need to come in and take over to really evaluate what's really going on there in the Gambia, because they are kind of like loose with it, which is true. Like they shouldn't have been handling the sledgehammer like they did and showcasing the purse and laptop and all that kind of thing on camera like they did. Anyways, I don't know who this guy is, but this letting you guys know that there are people that are talking about trying to investigate these instances of women passing in the Gambia. And 5 of them, there are stories about whether or not, if something happened that was underhandedly, there's questions about what could have really happened. And so hopefully he'll be able to get autopsies for these women. He's talking about trying to get the higher up people to get involved in the Gambia. I don't know what type of power or organizations behind him, but he has a lot of passion about talking about it.
Some of the nonsense I'm hearing online, even from some of our people, okay, about African Americans' attitude in Panafricanism is about living anywhere in the black world and meeting your goals and achievements. Okay? goals and achievements and settling into those cultures and being effective. Okay? There are 1.1 million Africans living in America. I went to school with African guys. Okay? My deepest, best friends were Nigerians and still are today. I got a brother from Kenya right there now sitting in my car. I live in Musanze, Rwanda. Okay, where I'm loved and appreciated by most people. Now, you guys know that because I talk about it all the time. Okay? There are Africans moving into the Caribbean now, and we welcome them. Last night I heard one of my cousins is getting married to a brother from South Africa, and I send him congratulations, and I say right on. Okay? Now, having said that, we cannot have African American brothers and sisters, and I consider myself African American because I live in America for all these years. Okay, and my children are American.
He's not an African American though, just like every other type of person that wants to like claim our identity that's Caribbean, just comes over, they stay 40, 50 years, and all of a sudden they're us. I'm so tired of these types of people that do this, but again, this is this Pan-African bullshit talk right here.
Understand me? My children were born in America. We cannot have people murdering people and maintain Pan-Africanism. It just can't happen. We cannot have people conspiring to murder people and maintain Pan-Africanism, right? If these people get away with this in Gambia, where's next? And who's next? Okay? We all have to live at peace in each other's countries. Unity is not conformity. Okay? I'll say that again. Unity is not simple conformity. Unity is brotherhood. Brotherhood is just expressing how we feel and our differences and so forth. Right? Every sister I know who moved to a Muslim country have made the adjustment. If what you do in your country is contrary to what Americans do, instead of talk about it. Alright? We can't have people murdering people. This is murder. Civilized people cannot get away with murder. Plain and simple. If I have to be a martyr saying that, so be it. I don't know what else to say. We just had carnival in Trinidad, right? We had over 300 Africans, and that was a counterhood. Everybody's having a great time. All right? We have to feel comfortable in each other's countries. Simple as that. Whether we're religiously different or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. We have to welcome each other and appreciate our differences. I don't understand why the Gambian police was not in on this from the beginning. You went from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. Okay? The FBI is very, very good at coming up with circumstantial evidence. Okay? The FBI is very good at going backwards and pulling circumstantial evidence and bringing people to justice. You don't know the power of our FBI. Okay? You don't know how good those guys are. All right? I have an MPA. I have worked with some of those guys on projects in America. Okay? Those guys are beyond good. They're fantastic at that. They have all kind of devices and uses of things that they actually do. We have to solve this. We must solve this. Okay? And I'm doing what I can with my friends in Los Angeles and Washington to bring some justice to this. Talk is not going to do it. We have to go down and fight for this. All right? My African colleagues in the Caribbean right now are very upset about this. They're very, very upset about this. Okay? You cannot go around murdering people. You can't do it. It's just not acceptable. And justice has to be done, one way or the other. Okay? And the only...
So I hope whoever this is can actually do something. I might get back to him a little bit later. He's just a little bit long-winded. I want to get back to Dr. Mombi and what she was talking about with witches and whatnot, and then we'll go back to Anja, Afreeca. If you have not yet, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel. This is about understanding spirituality, and also in regards to the deaths there in the Gambia of the women who have fallen. Rest in peace to all of them. There are a lot of people interested in this case. And the gentleman that was just on, he is a Pan-African. I'm not really sure who he is. He didn't really describe himself and what his capacity or what type of job he was into. He seemed to be retired. but he knows a lot of different people. And so he wants to open up an investigation. And this is not my first time hearing that an investigation is being opened. I think Go Black to Africa had mentioned that this case is pending or investigation is pending involving these deaths. So hopefully something will happen to get real professional people to go to the Gambia and see about what has been going on over there.
And a lot of the secret societies still use that. That's why when you go amongst the so-called elite family, or those who are in secret societies and their lives are moving a certain way, if you get to know them a bit deeper, you'll see that they have caged either one of their children's destinies, one of their siblings' destinies. Somebody's destiny somewhere has been changed so that they could prosper. If you look at a lot of the politicians, even here in Kenya, take like the top 5 to 10 and then dig a little deeper to see whether they lost a mother, a father, a brother, a sister. Some will even go to the length of their own child. Go and see, look at when they were starting their campaign season, because Kenya is seriously the blood sacrifices are too much. These guys are just doing it so openly. Like, especially after this presidency came into power, Mara, the deputy president, they had to go to his brother's funeral. Then Sijui, the governor of where the child, whoever has died. Like, just have a chronological look. If you get to know those families closer, there's always one, always the most gifted one, who has either gone heavily into alcoholism, who is depressed, who is almost caged at home, who has nightmares, who they'll try and convince you has some kind of mental disorder or another. We acknowledge the ancestors in the wind. We don't even want to go too deep in this. We just want to give you this quick message, family. So there's always someone who is sacrificed, and usually that person is called the so-called black sheep. The person who is sacrificed by the family is usually the one with the most potential. And in this season, because we were coming, a lot of us were invited, especially now, a lot of us who are from the motherland, who have followed these bloodlines since the beginning, like Mobi and Agikuyu and all that. We were invited by certain bloodlines. And it was an agreement. So now this may be for the spiritually adept. If I'm losing you here, I'm sorry. But there was an agreement between our galactic families or our cosmic families or, angelic families and these earthly families in terms of the holders or the keepers of the bloodline in this particular time. Remembering that Earth has been here for millions of years. Time is also an illusion. Stories for the days. And so it was like, okay, because we needed to come through certain bloodlines that went the furthest back. And so a lot of these bloodlines that went the furthest back were able to survive in the golden ages and then the so-called dark ages. And so while now in the dark ages it was darker witches, let's say that, or more wicked incarnations of the bloodline that were coming, more lower vibing. In a season past, it had been angels, it had been gods and goddesses, it had been ascended masters, high vibing beings. And so for them to get access to all those codes so that they could become superhuman in a lifetime, they now had to come into agreements with a lot of these bloodlines that had fallen from so-called grace. And it was an exchange. You get to come in, but in return, you clean up our bloodline. A lot of us came in cloaked. I swear, this could be a special message from the great mothers, I swear. A lot of us came cloaked, but we had a certain light, and we came during certain auspicious seasons where when these people went to their juju man or they went to their astrologers, they were told that a special child has come. And the special child has so much value. But they would be told that, that they would see a certain transformation happening at a certain age, maybe 21, maybe 22, maybe 30. And so you'd be given the season in which you can siphon energy. And sometimes you'd even be told like how much time you had to take them out, because a lot of the dark witches family, you see, when it was the golden ages, wow, this is going so deep. I don't even know if I'm going to release this, but let me talk about it. In the golden ages, high priestesses would kind of transfer with love their gifts to the next generation. There would be a transference when a goddess or when a master, a human master, a high level being, when they were leaving, there would be a transference of their gifts and abilities with love. But now, when we came into the dark ages, the evil ages, the opposite of living, live, evil, anyway. To acknowledge the ancestors in the wind. A lot of witches started killing each other for gifts. So if you were a witch and you took out another witch, you would literally absorb that person's soul and inherit all their gifts. That's why the witches of the past were so feared. And that's why whenever they saw a specially gifted child, they were immediately thinking, I need a sacrifice, I need to siphon, first of all, by shattering the chakras, through abuse, through traumatization. So you traumatize my first time by exposing me to violence. You traumatize my root chakra by making me always feel like we don't have enough money, we don't have enough this, we're running out, we may not have food, like just by always keeping me worried, grooming me to have a lack mindset. You shatter my sacral, which is my life force, which is my connection to the Most High, through sexual trauma, through early sexualization, so that instead of harnessing and learning how to harness my soul, sexual, raw power, it's just bleeding, it's just leaking from me. So they did not go to all these troubles, first of all, to lose, because the fact that we're all here, the fact that you're here means whoever was against you has lost. But they were going this because in their tradition, in the world that they were living in, if they killed a fellow witch, they inherited their powers and they became the head of them all. It's like all these kingdoms. You kill the king, you inherit that kingdom. It was that kind of mentality and mindset. But then you see, we entered this space where two worlds were transitioning. There was a famous book that used to be called The Beautiful Ones Have Not Yet Been Born or Are Not Yet Born. Definitely recommend reading that. It's a classic. But now the beautiful ones, they're not only born, they're here, family, living, adulting. But
so as you can hear from Dr. Mambe, there is a lot of things going on with witches. They siphon energy. Anja Afreeca talked about these types of things. I want us to review one of her last videos, a segment of it. Again, she was dropping gems. She had intentions to come for witches and expose the so-called diaspora. I got the impression that, maybe she was dealing in that type of lifestyle as well. So she knew who was who. And she was tired of all the things that she discovered outside of what she thought being involved in the dark magic would entail for her. she looked at it in a different way, but the way that it is the way that it is. You can't change the way that it is. Sometimes people feel like they can partake in something, but not be a part of that, really just kind of casually get a little information here, a little understanding there. But if you open yourself up to that realm, it's still going to affect you a lot more than if you didn't at all. And I think that Anja Afreeca discovered a lot of stuff and a lot of different things about people that perhaps she probably wouldn't want to do full-fledged like she did. But nonetheless, she had a lot to say in this video. And I want to honor her words, not just my words, but her words in reference to what she was seeing, how she was feeling in her rawness.
So people can see it, and I will post a picture next to it. There's definitely an entity behind it. And when you have that discerning eye, you are able to see that. You are definitely able to see that. I'm trying to find the picture of the individual because I want y'all to see that as well. You see, I don't think I have it. I take pictures on both of my phones, so let me see what I got here. Give me 1 second. Yes, look at that. You saw it immediately. Okay, sometimes I don't take it for granted because I know sometimes people will say, oh, I can't see what you're seeing. And I have to really show it to them and then they'll get it. But you can see it. You can see the wickedness in this person. And so from what I understand, she's been targeting me, trying to copy me, copy my content, has even stolen things from me. I didn't know about any of it. These things are only recently now being brought to my attention. So I have to pay attention to it, But I'm going in my other phone because I want to see if I can find that picture for y'all. Because it's very important. They work as a team. So they claim that they are like brother and sister. But, with all the demonic, wicked stuff that go on here, it can be an incestuous thing. It could be family members. It could be husband and wife that's into these polyamorous relationships. Because there's a lot of that here. And these are the same people that will be carrying all types of serious STDs. And that would be their mission, to get involved with somebody and infect them and look to see if they made that person sick so they can come and steal from them. I'm telling you, it's deep. It's so deep that I've had to really sit back and wrap my mind around it. And how do you even explain this to people? Because generally, I like to believe that people are not this demonic, right? We are not. I don't believe we're inherently evil. I believe there are people that choose to be evil, right? There's a difference. So I was like, I'm not doing my people any type of justice if I don't come on and expose this, right? We have to talk about it. So I'm pulling up this other picture now that I want to show y'all. Yes, it's deep. If y'all have any questions, please feel free, drop it in the chat and I'll be sure to respond. But I was like, I have to talk about this because it's not being talked about. People turning up suspiciously dead. Don't nobody know why. And it's just because people are just doing what they want. They walk around, they feel like you're alone. Nobody's going to do anything about it. They will stalk you, harass you. They will try to bully you. If you don't want to date them, you are either crazy or you must be a whore if you want to be alone because you don't want me. And if you don't want me, I'm going to run around and make up lies about you. If I can't have you, nobody will have you. This is how people are. Yep. And so if you're a person that has a reputation, you really better be concerned because there's no level of respect with that at all. No level. whatsoever. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think when I was doing my things to cut off anybody's trying to access my energy, yes, that's the channel, Green, Solar System. I thought it was Soul Star, but you're right, it is Solar System. Yeah. You know what though? I haven't really had anyone knocking at my door. What I have had, because you know, in order for people to get to your door, they have to get through the compound gate. The compound gate is about 25 yards away. So you have to get past them big steel gates. Don't think they won't jump the gate. They will jump the gate, jump the wall, jump the whole wall. Be banging on your door for 20, 30 minutes at a time like they're going to make you open the door. I've had that happen one time. I didn't open the door. Don't come to my house unannounced. Don't do that. And then when you're outside the gate calling me like, oh, I was at your house, I was knocking, you didn't answer the door. I didn't answer the door because you didn't have an invitation to come to my home. Don't ever do that. Yes. Listen, wherever you choose to go, just make sure you have a network on ground. And I mean a reliable network, because people so sneaky. I'm telling you, they will be acting like they supporting you. They can be trusted. They be setting people up on a large level. They would let you move in, get comfortable, and rob your whole house. I'm telling you, it's deep.
So she was telling the real scoop of what really happens to people that make their way to the Gambia, and how vulnerable single women really are, and how they are truly targeted. This is the message that she really was harboring, that she was actually going through, that she actually witnessed others go through, that this is not really widespreadly talked about though, but people know. And again, her notion of witches and the dark magic, she wanted to expose the diasporan. I believe a lot of these so-called Pan-Africans are actually witches. It definitely feels like a witch situation to me. The attitude of these deaths, the attitude of dismissing these deaths, such as Black X or Black Sick, whatever you call it, and all these others that are slow to reply and say anything about what's going on, means that their mission is about keeping the idea of us still moving to Africa. Like our safety doesn't really matter. It just matters that we continue to move towards Africa, which sounds very cultist-like to me. And so I wonder who she was going to divulge as being witches and practitioners of that type of dark magic. She says they were her frenemies. They were posing as friends in the diaspora, but actually were not her friend. So they just had a goodbye at the beach for Andrea Martin, Anja, Afreeca, just, I guess, yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure which day it was, but I'm sure a lot of those people that she wouldn't have cared to be there for her. And it's just amazing how things have quickly changed to where she passed, and where she was, where her mind and spirit was trying to go. And it was cut short. It was cut short. She talked about being sacrificed, though. She talked about people coming for her. It's still on my mind about how heavy that was, to have all that information in your heart and what you're holding and how you're feeling. And people weren't coming to her rescue. People did not bother to see her in person, to see how she was doing, to see if there could be any service to her. And now people have all kinds of videos out about her, all kinds of farewells and sister. I think a lot of that stuff is fake. That's what I think.
I can say I've been here 2 years. I know a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of different people, and I've had to move away from a lot of people because I see they have ulterior motives, or they've tried to do things. Like I had somebody try to slip me tea, like a love binding spell. And I was sitting next to this person thinking, why am I sitting here like I can't get up? And that's when it clicked. I know this person didn't just try to slip me some tea, but it's only because of my abilities that I can experience it and go, this is not me. Imagine people feeling that way and they can't get a hold of why they're feeling that way. So it was me, the individual sitting in the middle, and another woman. And he's pouring this tea. He's drinking it as well. We are all eating together. His wife is the one that served us the food. And the woman was talking and he was talking, and I was just sitting there, and I wanted to get up, but I felt like I shouldn't get up. I said, oh, hell no. So I got up and I walked out, and it was almost coming to my mind, you should be jealous that he's talking to this woman. You should. I don't even like this person. What is happening right now? But that's what these spells will do to you. So I wanted to come in and talk about what this magic looks like here, because we have no idea coming from the West. We think magic is, oh, you kissed the frog and it turned into a prince, right? Or you get a builder boyfriend. You want to take somebody from the mud and you want to build them up to their greatness. It's so much more than that, because folks ain't looking to be built. They looking to take everything you have. And if you behave...
Bingo. They're not looking to build. They're looking to take everything that you have. People are lining people up to be ruined. People are lining people up to be asked out, and homeless, asked out, period. There ain't no so-called unity that's going on there in the Gambia, and she's been trying to express this fact. Firsthand knows that there's no unity in the Gambia. Firsthand knows that people are by themselves doing their own thing, and if something happens to you, you're on your own. She was trying to express this. It's not as cozy as you might imagine it to be. When you first dream of going to Africa or this Pan-African notion, then you have all these thoughts of love and respect and oneness. But that has never, ever happened before. So it's all in your mind. A lot of us create our own fantasies in our mind, and we go off of the fantasy until it becomes a reality that it's not a fantasy after all.
You know, be able to remain around as a bonus. But it's deep. It's deep, y'all. I'm telling you.
I see you guys in the chat room. Sorry it took me a while to get here, but let me see what you guys are saying real quick. Hi, Nawful. What's going on in the Gambia? Well, there are suspicious deaths that's going on in the Gambia. Single women are having issues in the Gambia right now. And there needs to be a change of mind as far as thinking that you could just move to a place called Gambia or other Western African countries without a man or, you know, other people there with you, then it's going to be very, very difficult because you are targeted. Promiscuous recommendator. Okay. In an older video, Dr. Mambi said a witch almost took her life like 2 years ago. I remember that. She says herself she's a high priest. Did you hear that part too? She says she's a high priest. She had a situation that happened to her where she almost lost her life. And then when she came out of that situation, it transformed her into being what she's doing now. But she didn't say exactly what had happened other than she almost lost her life. I remember that. Siphoning is so real. You ever had an idea and you told no one and you're working on it, and snap of a finger, you see another person with it and prospering with it. I've always wondered. Wow. Well, yeah, I believe that people that know how to do dark magic or whatever, they have different things that they attempt to do, and just playing around with people's lives. And I think that Anja, Afreeca was exposing these types of things. You know, it's not an easy feat to be living on the same land as the person or perpetrators that are trying to get at you or mess with you or target you, and still speak up in a vocal manner that, you know, really agitated, I believe, a lot of people. You said someone had to cut her message and her awareness. This is so sad. Her awareness and her message, though, is not going anywhere as long as we keep on spreading the awareness, as long as we keep talking about her, talking about these cases, talking about other cases that are similar. In fact, I'm glad you said that, because there was just a recent person found deceased today. And let me see. So now we have another death. I don't know who it is, though. But Kiki just found out on Fan2 Network. The police have confirmed receiving reports of a lifeless body found at Kaloli Tavern just 21 hours ago. It says, however, the circumstances leading to the cause of death are yet to be established as investigations are underway. We received a report of a lifeless body in an incomplete building in Kaloli. We are yet to establish the cause of death. So another death has just happened. We don't know if it's an American. We don't know who it is, but I'm going to definitely try to figure out or find out who that is. Was it a poisoning? Did this person die of natural death? What happened? Another one bites the dust. So it's kind of important that we get to the root of what is happening over there. Let me go back to chat room. All right. How you doing? You said you did not know? Okay. Hi, Lisa. How you doing? And hi, Edek. You said, is there any articles about Anja, Afreeca, and what happened to her? I don't know about any articles. I know more people are talking about it, though, on their platforms. I've seen a lot of different people talk about it recently. You said, I saw a few years. Wait, hold on. YouTubers speaking on Black American women dying in the Gambia. Yeah, a lot of people now are speaking on it. Jade Falconer's back. No one came to her rescue. When talking about people wanting to sacrifice her and kidnap her, that's the same thing that happened to Michael Jackson and a whole bunch of other individuals, as the list goes. Yeah, on. Lisa D says Black American women don't understand that African misogyny, sexism, and hatred of women is on a different level. They underestimate how brutal it is. Yeah, I think Anja was pointing to these realities. iMovement says older women, men are targeted for marriage for inheritance. Yes, for sure. Romance scams are up. People are trying to get a green card. People are setting people up for their land and for their house that they're building. That's what it's starting to look like in some of these cases. I know that she mentioned Sistar. Let me see. So, let me see what else you guys said before I look for that. Jade says, that's why the modern woman in my generation will turn around and blame their mother instead of blaming us men. Wow, that's too bad. And the last one, Promiscuous, says, this is real life war. I've been spreading this message to friends, family, and coworkers, especially individuals that are married or dating Africans. Oh, you have? I think it's just a cultural big divide.
There came a time when
There's a big cultural divide that I don't think that most of us will be able to pass or get get over. For instance, you know, the lady, I can't remember her name. I'm so bad with names, y'all. I must admit, I'm really terrible with names. But the YouTuber that did also pass about a year ago, her channel name is So Her Star, Sistar. If someone could tell me what her name is again, because I don't want to guess. I want to say Audrey, but I could be wrong. I know who Victoria or Veronica is, rather. The one with short hair, but I'm not quite sure what her name is. But she had a lot to say about speaking about messaging, how, you know, the TV, the movies, when they have direction of the movie and the narrative, there is also a message behind the movie, a feeling that's left behind the movie, an influence of such that happens because of the movie. And she was just speaking out about her opinion in this regard.
Welcome to the Solar Sister channel. It's your girl, Solar Sister, coming to you once again with another video. Guys, I want to come on here and just talk with you a little bit about something that has been kind of on my mind for the past few days, and just wanted to come on here and talk to you about it. You see the name of the title, It's Time for Us to Get High. I know many of y'all were probably thinking some other kind of high, but we're going to talk about it in just one moment. But let's take care of some housekeeping things. Guys, if you would, go ahead, thumbs up the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification bell if you'd like to be made aware of upcoming videos. And feel free to share with anyone you think might benefit. So, one of the things that I have been able to do since I've been here in the Gambia, and I'm so appreciative of it. I actually had started doing some of my work, some of my healing work before I even got here to the Gambia. But being here on the continent in the Gambia has given me the ability to kind of to just get still, to get stabilized, so to speak. And I've been kind of seeing some things that have been talked about regarding the Woman King movie. And I remember seeing like a trailer, I think maybe on Facebook or something like that. I remember seeing the trailer before the movie came out, and I had already known then that I wasn't, you know, concerned about seeing this movie. I wasn't going to see this movie. And one of the questions that I remember asking myself then, and I'm still asking now, but I know the answer now, but then I asked, why now? You know, why is this movie coming out now? Like, do we really need a movie showing, you know, Black women being strong and fighting and so forth? And so, again, like I said, I asked the question, why now? And the answer to the question why now is because these people who have control over the Hollywood scene, they don't do things without having a reason for the narrative that they're trying to put out there.
Again, she does have, I'm going to play the rest of the video. I want to see what Seven Gali has sent. But, you know, there's always a strong sense of independence and strength in American Black women. And she is another one. Again, I cannot remember her name. If someone could tell me her name real quick, that would be great. I want to say Aubrey or Audrey. Let me see if someone okay, Audrey. All right, thank you. I'm so bad with names. Audrey. Sorry about that. Audrey. You try to send me a link. I just hold on, what happened? I thought, okay, here it is. Oh yeah, I I seen that video too. I saw that video too. That video, she was in this video of Audrey, she was fasting, and she was talking about how hot it was in this video. I'll fast forward a little bit so you guys can hear it a little bit.
Humid. What I do is I keep these cloths in the freezer, and I will pull them out every so often and put them on my neck.
But she's one of the women that, in a lot of people's opinion, her death was kind of suspicious. I think she's the lady that was supposed to get married. I think that she might have had land, maybe a business and a house or something like that. She was very successful, and she passed. Here she is talking about a fast and talking about the heat of the Gambia.
I had put them on my face, whatever, just to cool off. So this has really helped me. But y'all, I don't know what possessed me to put on the calendar that I was going to start a 5-day water fast. A 5-day water fast this past Monday. So again, like I said, it's a 5-day. Today is day 4, and tomorrow will be.
And she's the second one that has been doing a fast, because Anja was on a fast as well. I mean, I wonder if they're doing something to the well water. That's just something that came to mind. Could people be tampering with their well water or something like that? Who knows? You never know what could be going on behind the scenes. I mean, is that the type of water that they use at these houses or whatever? I'm not quite sure. If you guys know or not, let me know.
Day 5, and I will break fast at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. Technically, I could break fast at 9 o'clock on 9 o'clock p.m. on tomorrow, but I don't want to eat that late, so I'm just going to break my fast at 9 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning.
So this is why we want to know, like in cases of Aubrey as well, whether or not she died natural cause or if somebody did something to help her pass away early. Again, this is a spiritual video, kind of, because of the talk of witchcraft, because of the talk of siphoning energies and, taking out sacrifices for other inheritances to occur, whether you can garner and get land and a house based on, your association with these women, and then they pass on, and then somehow you're able to acquire that land and property from the person that passed away. That has to be considered a red flag and something that should be investigated if that has happened in this case with Audrey. I'm not quite sure or not, but that has to be a question if that is the case or not. Hold on, let me see. Where was I? Come on. So you cannot poison well water, is too vast, is it? Oh, okay. So how would people tamper? How is the water in the compound, such as Audrey's or a house situation? Is it the same as in the United States, or how does it work? Do you guys know how typical houses are out there? You said is false, Seven Golly says. I don't know. But let's get back to Anja. I just wanted you guys to see who Sistar was. So Sistar, who she was. I think she passed away about a year ago. And, her life does matter. Her life and everybody else's life in the Gambia does matter. A lot of people want to dismiss it as not being that significant or important to really trip off of. A legend, that more or less these Black women created their own demise. That's how most of y'all would like to look at Black American deaths, or women in general, Western women's deaths in general, as being their own fault, and they earned it, they deserved it. But that's not the case.
It's deep, y'all. I'm telling you, it's deep. I cannot find this picture, but I am going to do a community post, and I'll have to pull it from the file on my laptop because, and I'll explain this to y'all. One of the ways that you stop these people from having access to you and block their energy is to delete their phone numbers, their pictures, anything associated with them off of your phone and your devices. Anything they might have given you that they used, get it out of your home. I remember I was going to clean the living room and it was some pillows on the floor, and I picked up the pillows, and what did I see with the pillows? I saw a watch and 2 lighters, and I was like, why would a watch and 2 lighters be tucked behind the couch? What is that? I said, no, this fool trying to cast a spell, and he don't put a time limit on the watch. Like, this has to happen within a certain time. See, people think you're not paying attention. I've always been like a little Blue's Clues, right? I love hidden word searches and doing and breadcrumb stuff. Like, I give me some hints and I already know what time it is. Like, people didn't like going to the movies with me because I done told you the whole movie after just looking at the first few minutes. But I didn't realize that was a gift at the time. I'm thinking everybody does this. So I realize now God has me, he has me here for this reason. You hear the crow? I don't know if y'all...
Right when she said that, the crows start crowing. Wow.
That crow. They got the birds coming to my windows, monitoring. Like, they literally will come up to the window and just be staring in. Ain't no bread on my windowsills, but these are monitoring spirits, but we don't know nothing about that. I don't bother with the monitoring spirits because I want them to know I am doing well and thriving. And I have no problems with nature. Some people would be scared, but it wasn't about being scared, but it was about, I need to tell our people what's going on. Yes,
wow.
Exactly. I'm reading the one from UK Parents. Yes. So for those of you who don't know, my dad is from his people. My paternal family is from Barbados. So I am Bayesian, and I'm also Indigenous American, right? My mom's people are Gullah Geechees from South Carolina. So they have a connection to Sierra Leone. So my mom's side, 100% Mende from Sierra Leone. But before that, great-grandparents, Indigenous Americans, right? I even have my great-grandfather from Barbados. My grandmother was Portuguese. So we have quite a mixture in the family. But as you know, all of those cultures had some type of voodoo, I don't really like when people say black magic because all black magic isn't bad. It's the people that's using the magic that's doing these dark things to people, right? Because we know, like, our people have fought battles using this kind of magic. When we talk about Nani and all these other folks, we know they use magic and everything else to defeat troops from Europe. And so I'm not going to say that it's black magic. I'm going to say that there's wicked people doing things they shouldn't be doing to control people. And here, someone like you and you don't like them, they will cast a spell on you. You come outside in a nice dress and somebody is envious of that dress, they're going to cast a spell on you. If mama died and left some property and she didn't give them the property, they're casting a spell on you. If your kids is smarter than my kids and they're going off to Europe for education, they're casting a spell on you. I'm serious. I've been the gift. Once I said again, one of the gifts that God has given me, a lot of times, one of the assignments I have is that no child will be left behind. So I tend to notice things on the children. So, you know, a lot of the moms, they have the babies on their backs, and I will see the baby on their back, and the baby will have a horrible rash that look like psoriasis or something. And I would say to the mom, you know, what are you doing for her skin? And mom said, oh, it's just the heat. I said, sweetie, that's not just the heat. Like, it's bloody. You know, the baby is suffering. What are you doing? Are you using aloe vera? Are you keeping it dry? You know, don't use perfume, soap, all this kind of stuff. I will tell them, come to the clinic. We can give you some herbal bath that you can use for the baby, dry her off well. You know, so the mom will come with the child, and after talking to the mother, we realize somebody put something on the mother. And so when she breastfeeds the child, it comes out as a rash on the baby. Going back to what I said about when it's good, it's God. When it's bad, it's that demon. So them rashes, them sicknesses, the dis-ease in the body, the inflammation, all of that, that's the devil, period. It's a spirit. I never knew this stuff. So I started looking into marine spirits, demon spirits, jinns and spells and curse. And this is a big part of this life. This is what TikTok is about. I just discovered, why is it coming out now at this age that I am a survivor of a demonic ritual? Why would that come out now after all this time? Because God wants me to let everybody know that all them babies that y'all see people showing their babies on TikTok, and as much as we say, stop showing your children on TikTok, it's pedophiles out here. Guess what? All of them babies are part of these demonic rituals. It's not the baby's fault. It's the parents. The parents are using the babies in these demonic sex rituals to get wealth and fortune. If you look at these babies, yesterday I made a comment. There was one baby, and y'all could look it up. The video was called, "The Parents Get the Birthmark Removed from the Baby's Head." And so I looked at this video, and before they removed the birthmark, I can see the energy is right on the baby's third eye. It's a huge brown birthmark. I can see the priest molesting the baby in the birthmark. Y'all know we say babies don't talk. No, they don't talk, but they have energy, and they store that trauma in their bodies. So God has given me the gift to look at these babies and see exactly what was done to them. So I'm looking at all these TikTok babies, and they all got that energy of being molested. Their parents have used them. Because think about it. How does a little unattractive baby have 47 million views on TikTok? What is that? You got people out here talking about God, and they don't have 47 million views. You got these people out here for all fans, and they done got 47 million views, but one baby? It's because the parents are using that demonic energy to cast spells. Y'all hear the crow? I'm going to tell y'all, whenever I talk about demons and what the devil is doing, the crows start. Or some loud music will come.
And that is true. Crows are crowing whenever she's speaking about spiritual stuff and casting spells and witches and warlocks and all of that. It's been a common theme that you would hear crows. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room. You said Jay Stalker says you cannot poison well water. It is too vast. Seven Golly says that is false. Jay Strikey. Striker. Oh my God. Striker. He said if she had a water tank, then maybe. Okay, a water tank. He said, well, poisoning was even used during wars against enemies. Promiscuous Recommendator says water tank makes sense. Jay says, read my comment. Okay, I don't see another comment. Anyway, moving on. Jay says, yeah, let go, move on now. Do research if needed on well poisonings, Seven Golly says. Salute Anja Afreeca. Rest in peace to her. The cautionary tale queen. Yeah, buddy. At strikes. Monitoring spirits are at a all-time high now. Okay. Throwing poison in an underwater river to poison one person, nah. Yeah, that makes sense not to do that. No, it's about the person's character with spiritual practice. That is all. Mystic says, I would like to know how. Jay Stryker says, it's for the whole community, not just for one person. And Seven Golly says, I don't argue with morons. Don't frustrate yourself. Okay. Okay, you said, not sure why there is a frustration. I'm in Gambia. I have a well. The water underneath flows for miles. I am curious how someone will poison a well water at a local level and only one person die. Okay. It's just about protecting yourself. Excuse me, I meant to say I refrained from entertaining the uninformed. Moron was harsh. Okay, Lisa D says, Pan-Africanism is a ridiculous and lost cause. Black Americans are wasting their time, energy, money, and lives on this nonsense. They're risking their lives on this nonsense is what they're doing. It's as if it's like a gift of sacrifice to the Pan-African God, the Pan God, the God that has half human and half, I guess, goat or something that's running around in the forest naked. I wonder what God do they really serve from the higher ups in the Pan-African conversation. There is a God that they serve, and there is a cult behind this Pan-African talk. And I believe that a lot of these people that she was going to expose are witches and whatnot on that level. That's why she's been talking about it, because she was enamored into that way of life and also knowledge. And it was driving her crazy. It was driving her absolutely crazy. But before she left, she wanted to let it be known what she discovered, what she felt. She wanted her honesty to be out there. And that's why it's important for us to keep it going. But I just wonder about Pan-Africanism, the origins of it way back when, if there is a connection with a secret society that is facilitating this movement on social media, because we know that, like Aubrey was trying to say, social media, TV, movies are influencers in our community. Look at the music, look at the videos that are being played, the imagery of what we see all the time that's trying to destroy our mind and destroy our way of thinking and being, all influenced by the media. You can see how influential social media is, how YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all these things are used, I believe, to a certain extent, can be used for witchcraft because of the messaging and the imagery that they can showcase, and how, these types of activities that are going on in the Gambia, I think Anja was really trying to expose, and I think that she would probably had named names if she was still alive right now, if she was able to. So I'm glad that it was discovered by Kiki about that post, though, that post that she had mentioned about wanting to expose witches and stuff, because that just shows you that we should be on our P's and Q's when it comes to this Pan-African talk. We definitely have to be on our P's and Q's. Jade says that's why generational anxiety is a curse from the pits of hell. Generational anxiety. That's interesting. Seven Golly says I'm misinformed. Jay Stecker says, if the gentleman can enlighten me, then it will be appreciated. Life is sweet, but the people is terrible. Oh, yeah. Exactly, and it comes back on the kids because that's the karma from the witch playing around with dark magic and destroying households throughout the communities, Jade says. Pan-Africa means pandemonium, demonin, pandemon. They definitely got a spirit on them that is not quite righteous. It drove her crazy because the kind of knowledge that she received was of the devil. It does appear to be a mixture of God and the devil, like the devil was trying to take over her vessel, over her mind, over her spirit, and before she gave way to that, she revealed truths, that she wanted to let out. She let out her truth, which brings me back to this other video of hers. Let me see. I really appreciated her, though. I'm so glad that I was able to discover her before she passed, but I really wish that I would have heard her one more time. That's what I really wish, that I would have able to hear her, what she would have been saying right after the new year. I really wish I would have heard that. But we still have what she left for us to have in her good, bad, and ugly state. There's still some beauty and godness in her, even though the devil was trying to take her out and take her under with what she was being ravished by spiritually. And even though people were trying to get at her after her, she still held up. She held her ground. She still fulfilled her mission of telling the last bit of truth she had left to tell, which is admirable, is courageous. She didn't go out with her tail tucked.
I handle cases in the spiritual world. How do you think my grandfather came across being one of the people that I was trying? How did I find out this family secret? Because I am walking karma. I am divine justice here on earth. I am here to observe and see what people are doing and report back to the Most High. I'm here to have these experiences to give people an opportunity to show how great they are. Because I believe they're great. I believe they have goodness in them until they show me otherwise. And when you show me otherwise, that's when you get to meet Drea from Brooklyn. I'm going to check you on the spot. I'm going to let you know what you're doing is foul, right? And mostly because you coming for me. Like, I generally mind my business. I don't have nothing to say to people. But when you come for me, you're going to get got with the quickness. See, that's why, God said, yeah, you, because you've been through some stuff, right? You fear, but you're not going to let people walk all over you. You're not going to let
And if she only knew how big she is now, how she has touched a lot of people to really want to hear her story, hear her testimony. It's like really an honor to be a part of her expansion of truth to all the ones that maybe did not know of her. And now you have a slew of people doing stories about her or putting clips about her in their video and stuff. And I just want her to know that, she will not be forgotten. Like, we really, really are keeping up with her videos now. And more that I find out I can play, I will continue to showcase her videos.
People mistreat others. You're always going to be an advocate. And you're going to always do the right thing. Because I come from my heart. See, people want to copy, which is cool, right? Because if you copying and you spreading the word, listen, I'm not going to knock you for that. But when you copy with ill intentions because you don't think I deserve what I have, that's a problem. That's a problem. And that's where you offend God. You offend the Most High. You offend my spirit team. And we run deep. And they ain't having it. I don't even have to say nothing. They see what's happening. Your ancestors see what's happening. They're like, oh no, baby, not that one. It's too late. It's too late. So we got people doing spells. So not only are they doing spells with pictures, they doing spells to keep your attention on their channels. You ever be looking at something and be thinking, this is pure shite? Why am I looking at this? How did I go down this rabbit hole? It's because a spell was put on you. Words are spells. We know this. The Bible is a book of spells, right? How you think you cast a demon out? You pull a quote from the Bible. Psalm 91. Words are spells.
Let's see what Psalm 91 says. Hold on. Let me look that up. Psalms 91. Maybe it's a word that we need to hear right now. Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. The noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thy eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. Thou shalt no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. That thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shall thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and shew him my salvation. I don't know if that touched anybody, but that was Psalms 91 that she had just stated. And so I wanted to read that. I wish I could hear the significance of that passage to her in her own words, but at least she gave a passage. It just seems like she really delved in a lot of different ways of thought and thinking. And sometimes that could open up portals again for other people to like mess with you.
Words are spells. So people will do their little dark magic before they get on a channel. They will do mirror magic on themselves to make them look more presentable to you when they get in front of the camera. From there, you just watching camera like, you can't pull yourself away. Kind of like that dopamine they talk about, right? That addictive type thing that now you're waiting for that hit, you're waiting for that fix. That's what TikTok is. That's what Shorts is about. I find myself going down the rabbit hole sometimes of spiritual stuff. I can't get enough. I have to pull back and go, you're supposed to be getting your message to the people because God chose you to do something very specific, and you have a gift nobody else has. else has. Nobody else can duplicate. They can copy all they want, right? You can't copy when there's no comparison. You can't bite my style because my style is just outlandish. I do stuff that I just do because my ancestors are in me. They like certain things. So that's how I'm drawn to it. You can't copy that. You just can't. I'm flattered that you tried. But do you? You'll be enough. You'll be enough. Somebody gonna like you. Okay? So that's it with the spells, right? People will use your images. They will cast spells to keep your attention. They will even use spells to bind you. Binding you sounds just like what it means, right? Tying somebody up. You're not. You're going to do whatever I tell you to do, whatever direction I pull you in, you're going to go in. I want you to like me, then you're just going to be falling over, head over heels over me. Right? I want you to give me money, you're just going to be pulling out your pocket, wondering where your money went. That's what they do here. A lot of binding spells. People use sex magic. The sex magic would be, I don't even have to have sex with you yet, but I'm going to make you yearn for me. I'm going to make you think of me when you go to sleep. I might even invade your dreams. That's another one people try. I had 3 fat chicks show up in my dream. It was like, you know, and not to be rude because the sister's a curvaceous girl, but it was Lonnie Love and 2 other big girls. I was like, okay, all that talking, I'm walking in the other direction. They trying to run behind me because they big and sloppy, right? Wait, we want to ask you something. I was like, I don't know. And I just kept going. Somebody was trying to be in my dream to get information. So now I'm like, okay, I got to step up my game. I got to be making sure I say prayers and say, God, please don't have nobody up in my dreams that is not for my better good. What's this? Don't you up in my dreams, really? Can I have like a handsome prince or something? I don't want to see you. But people do this stuff, y'all, so y'all got to be prepared. It's happening and it's real, and we're not talking about the magic in this real world. We're looking at these TV shows, we're looking at all this stuff. We're not looking at the magic that's happening right around us. Think about times you felt stunted, times you felt like you was on pause, times you felt like there was obstacles. Everything seemed to go wrong no matter how much you tried. There's a reason for that. Somebody is doing something demonic. Somebody is doing something evil. There is a demon making that energy take control of your situation. My advice to you is to stay prayed up. Call on your ancestors. Read your Bible in the mornings and at night. Stay close to God. And all that stuff ain't gonna bother you. Like I said, my whole life, I didn't even know this stuff was going on until recently. And it's only because it's being brought to my attention. Because towers are falling. I disclosed a family secret with my abilities that they thought I would never come into. Towers are falling. So y'all go back and check out the videos. And I'm going to keep dropping this information because y'all need to know. I didn't know. You don't have to be in the same situation I was in. Right? So for the firstborn babies that were part of sacrificial sacrifices, rituals, demonic sexual activities, I want to send you my heartfelt blessings. You are covered. God loves you. From my inner child to yours. And I will see y'all in the next video. Blessings.
Like I said, she had a lot of stuff on her. A lot of stuff that she learned, a lot of stuff that she wished she probably wouldn't know. But she was steeped into the knowledge of understanding. And I wish she would have been able to expose the witches of the diaspora. But I have an inkling of a clue what she meant. They definitely are Pan-Africans. Definitely. I wish I could research Pan-Africanism and its origin to see if there is a secret society backing them. But I just feel in my spirit like there is a cult within that paradigm of life for many of these so-called Pan-Africans.
Red lion, red lion, red lion. We lion, red lion, we die. You and your low vibration ancestors are part of a cult of energy vampires, incubus, scouting, targeting high vibration light workers, chosen ones in these love lanes, casting spells on the mark that stunts the discerning senses, that sense of hearing the serpent's name when he introduces himself, that sense of smelling his rank odor and making that first impression everlasting, an aura of false light and hope, trickster energy to distort and remind you of past over loved ones. You so taken aback you feel at ease. What the unsuspecting mark doesn't know is that you have a specific target. Independent, unattached, and passport heavy. Age is no matter, and looks are a bonus. All you see is green and dollars. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain down on me. Wealthy, vulnerable, and alone, and wealthy. Words are spells. Red lion, red lion, red lion. Red lion, red lion, red lion. We lion, red lion, we die. Whispering sweet nothings, lame compliments, making promises filled with liability, and encouraging harmless secrets. Just keep the relationship quiet. I'm just your driver, your business partner. Stay off social media. A lot of envious people already cyber stalking you and trying to be you. Don't tell nobody where you live. Don't tell nobody what you're working on. What they should say is shut everyone out. So when I cause you harm, no one will know until it's too late. Who's gonna know? Nobody's gonna know. Words are spells. Red lion, red lion, red lion. Red lion, red lion, red lion. We lion, red lion, we die.
Okay. She definitely left a mark on this world. And, you know, hopefully people that are into spiritualness or spirituality can get a little bit more of a understanding about, you know, your plight, your journey through what she was talking on. But not necessarily delve in like she did, because again, that's dangerous to go into the dark arts and not expect not to be touched by it, or have some type of influence or someone being able to tap into you behind you delving into things that you do not really fully understand, as far as dark magic or witchcraft and all that other type of talk is. So for those that might be interested in that, maybe you might want to think about it again based on what you see and can sense through what Anja's talking on. Jade Falconer says, what I seem to realize with these people is that they never ever mention Yahweh, the one and only righteous creator of everything. Instead, it's the Most High, just like that's it. You're clearly plain. Okay. Seven Gali says, my great grandmother lived to almost 100 years old. She loved Psalms 91 and 121. I used to read them to her. Oh, okay. Low key shade Anja through on what? On Psalms 91? Tyron says, what's up, 4 Black? You catch the footage from me debating Bucci Barrett Brandon. I seen some of it that you messaged me. I haven't been through all of them though. Jade says, that's the same thing I'm going through because of what I'm in the process of becoming naturally. It's almost like something or someone hates the fact that I'm following the Most High God of Israel, the truth. So are you a Hebrew Israelite, Jade? Is that what you are? Whatever you are, you know, just so long as you don't hurt nobody, so long as it betters you as far as how you feel about yourself and how you can help others, you know, whatever it is. I'm sure it's can't be that bad, I hope. Anyways, I appreciate everybody for coming out. If you have any selection of songs that you might want to hear, let me know now. I can play. Other than that, I was going to conclude. Again, for those that came late, Anja Afreeca was going to expose witches from the diaspora of Gambia. She made a post about it a couple of months ago. I never even knew it existed until Kiki found it. So shout out to Kiki for finding. Kiki loves Nigeria. Found the post. And it mentioned her wanting to expose witches in the diaspora. And I believe that she knew of a lot of people that was in that world. And I think that it is more received and accepted in Africa than it would be widespread. Well, I know it's in America too, but it's not out in the open like that. I think that maybe in Africa it's more in the open. It's more received over there because that is the culture that it came from. Thank you for that good live. Thank you for that. YouTube not sending notifications. No, they don't. It really is getting difficult for you guys to know when I go live. I intend to keep Anja Afreeca's presence, awareness alive as I can use her material to talk on these deaths or talk about any other circumstances that come out of Africa that is affecting us overall with dying or being scammed, or because she talked about all these things about people getting set up to get robbed, people being set up to be scammed, people being set up to be unalive, people set up for a lot of different things. She was letting it be known that this practice is happening all over the place and that we need to just not be in la la land no more. That's the message and memo I'm getting from her. Don't be in la la land no more. I know I started out on this journey as being very thoughtful about Africa, thinking that everything was lovely, thinking that I could love on brothers and sisters and everybody would be respectful and, you know, boundaries could be set. You could be friendly with folks and they won't overstep stuff because they're your brother. But then when you go to Africa and you realize the conditions on the ground and how people are really living over there and how it is a culture of being hustled or being scammed or getting got or being the one getting, is a lot of people is living off the vapors off of tourism. And so you are being sought after more than ever now. And she just wanted to be let it be known that you are actually like a deer in the forest. And there are people running around like lions trying to devour you. That's just the reality of what I gathered from her as her truth. She didn't want to leave this earth making it seem like everything was good in Africa, like everything was just sublime. You know, ocean was, you know, with nice clear water, rolling waves and stuff, and the beach and all that kind of scenery talk. It's nice and all, but when you have men roaming around seeking to fuck with single women because they can, because they have options and they have time on their hand, that is a time where we need to, as women, to rethink on how we want to move and why we want to do what we want to do when you're not considering your protection or your covering of protection. You got to get to that reality. And, you know, as she stated before in the video, there's not no network of nothing going on in the Gambia. The perception of it is not the reality of it. The way that people talk as if there's unity is not the way that it is when you're on the ground in Africa. That's just the reality of it all. And that's what she was trying to let it be known. People talk a good game, but people don't mean what they say. And you just be there set up and asked out. And as a single woman, a single Black woman, we cannot have these deaths go unaccounted for. We cannot allow it to be comfortable for us to continue to die as if it's okay to do. So hopefully people will get to that. I don't know. You said awareness is key in protection. Yes. You said the Most High God is key and the only real protection. Yes, that's true too. And yourself, you got to protect yourself as well. You have to help God help you. You said everything can be the Most High, Jade. Specifically, you worship Yahweh, Jade. Okay, you guys are going back and forth. That's why there are Facebook groups dedicated to exposing Gambian cheaters and scammers. Are there? Oh, that's good. You got to let me know about that another time. Any songs that you guys want to hear before I go in honor of Anja and the 6 women who have passed? I'm trying to think what can I play that I haven't played in a long time. If y'all can think of a song that I can play it. Man. Old school. Okay. I know what I could play. All right, let me play this. All right. This one. I can't play that song. Hold on. Let me see. All right. I couldn't think of a song other than Bill Withers, Just the Two of Us, y'all. Y'all need to help me out because I really don't have a good memory.
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky, just the two of us, you and I. We look for love, no time for tears. Wasted water's all that is, and it don't make no flowers grow. Good things might come to those who wait, not to those who wait too late. We gotta go for all we know, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building them castles in the sky, just the two of us. You and I. I hear the crystal raindrops fall on the window down the hall. It becomes the morning dew. And darling, when the see the morning sun, I wanna be the one with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building big houses we don't hide. Just the two of us. You and I.
All right, y'all. Before I go, I just realized, I've been talking about the Pan-African God, Pan God. I want to show you what the Pan God is, what Pan-Africanism stems from, and see if it rings a bell with some spiritual stuff that's going on in the Gambia right now.
There are many powerful and iconic gods and goddesses in Greek mythology, but sadly they tend to hog the limelight, and stories of the lesser gods and deities are sometimes swept under the rug and almost forgotten. A good example of this is Pan, the god of the wild. He frequently features in literature and artwork, but he is not considered one of the major gods of ancient Greece. Some of you may even be more familiar with the creature from the film Pan's Labyrinth than Pan's depictions in Greek mythology. Although the creature in the movie is not Pan, their appearances are similar. It could be Pan's association with nature and wildlife that caused his appearance to differ from the other gods. His upper body was just like that of a man, but he also had the lower half of a goat, along with horns, a combination that we've now come to refer to as a faun. There are many who consider Pan to be one of the oldest gods in Greek mythology. His association with nature, wooded areas and pasture lands is where his name is derived from. Pan was first worshipped in the rustic rural areas, far from the large populated cities, meaning that there were no large temples or monuments built to worship him. The worship of Pan instead took place in nature, commonly in caves and grottos, with his most avid followers being shepherds and hunters. It was pretty commonplace for shepherds and herdsmen to sacrifice a portion of their cattle in the name of Pan. When it came to offerings made in his name, Pan enjoyed vases and all kinds of pottery, but it was known that he had a particular taste for grasshoppers coated in gold. The exact lineage of Pan is uncertain, with some accounts of him being the son of Hermes, and others claiming that he was the son of Zeus. In some stories, his mother was Penelope, wife to the hero Odysseus. Despite the identity of his parents being a mystery, the story of Pan's birth remains the same. When Pan was born, his mother was so distressed by his unusual appearance that she ran away, abandoning Pan. He was later found and taken to Mount Olympus, where he would become a favorite of the gods. Like many of the other gods and goddesses, Pan had a host of attributes that set him apart from human beings. He was capable of running long distances in a short period of time without suffering fatigue, and in some accounts he could even teleport himself to Mount Olympus and back. He also possessed immense strength and was immortal. Pan is quite often depicted as having a playful and almost trickster-like sense of humor, and that coupled with his ability to transform objects into different forms meant that he would often entertain himself with mischievous schemes and plans. When he wasn't up to no good, Pan would spend the rest of his time chasing the nymphs through the forest, attempting to seduce them. They would often flee because of his unconventional appearance, and in many of the old stories, Pan was considered to be rather ugly. There is a story about a particular wood nymph that Pan took a liking to because she was the most beautiful in all the forest. She rejected all of Pan's advances and took refuge amongst her sisters, who transformed her into a reed. Unsure which reed she had been transformed into, Pan took a handful of them, each of differing size, and joined them together. He began to blow, producing a melody that captivated all around him, and thus the pan flute was created, forever named after its creator. He was considered to have...
It's just a trip to see how the origins of certain gods, Pan God, the great god of the wild, is this associated with Pan-Africanism is what I want to know, is what I would like to know. What are the origins of Pan-Africanism? What God do they serve? Because it did not come from thin air. It was created and founded by somebody, by some people rather. And I wonder if it has something to do with this particular God.
Affinity for music and was often shown alongside his instrument. Pan was a frequent companion to Dionysus, the god of wine. With wine and music going hand in hand, these two were essentially ancient drinking buddies. The word panic is believed to have derived from Pan. His menacing voice frightened anyone who was unfortunate enough to stumble upon him. There is a tale of war where a horde of giants marched upon Mount Olympus and the gods. It is said that Pan's shout was so overwhelming that when they heard it, the giants began to panic and flee, aiding the gods in their eventual victory. Over the years, Pan has been a symbol of nature and the wild, the ancient mystery of the forest. He shows no interest in accumulating power like many of the other gods. Instead, he is a free-spirited individual, boisterous and lustful, and he'd rather partake in activities that we expect from humans, listening to music, drinking wine, and just having a good time. There is no doubt that Pan is an entertaining character, and much like nature, he is unpredictable and at times frightening, which is what makes him so interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did,
That was different. That was definitely different, y'all. But let me see what you guys are saying. Ali says this is a good song, and remember, God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Later, good people. By I movement. You and I, the Most High God of Israel, Israelite. Oh, that's Esau. Oh, yeah, right. Pan like Pan, Peter Pan. Demonin. Chaos, interesting. Fairies, witches, and shit. Yeah, anyways, she left a lot of videos on 2 different channels. She had a podcast as well. And I think that things that she spoke about that started changing her mind about Africa, it was about a year ago is when I started noticing the change. Because if you go back 2-3 years ago, I think her videos go back as far as, is it 2 or 3 years? She was more optimistic about her plight there in the Gambia when she first got there. But then as time went on and she started waking up to what was really going on, her attitude, her disposition started changing. Let me see, the oldest, just 2 years. So from 2 years ago to a year ago, you could see a big change. So she was on there for just 2 years. But I think that you guys should also check out Spirit Knox. That's another channel that she did. But I think that even though she had a lot of stuff that she was battling within, she ultimately had a good heart. And she was able to, again, tell her truth before she left about how she truly was feeling about the Gambia and what single women are going through. So hopefully people won't dismiss her message, because people are trying to make her out to just still be a Pan-African, like she was all about going to Africa. That's not how it ended. According to another YouTuber, I can't think of the name right now, She was actually trying to gather money to leave, but apparently people weren't trying to help. They went on about their business and let her just fend for herself. So that basically is how that is in the Gambia. You're fending for yourself. You're out there on your own. And if things happen jacked up, you're not going to be spared for the most part. The only time that people want to get together is when it's about death. Then all of a sudden they got money for you in death. But when you're alive, they're nowhere to be seen or heard. Isn't that ironic, y'all, how she's been needing help for a couple of months prior to her death? Nobody was really there trying to help her until after she got really sick, until after she was on her way out. Then suddenly people started looking towards helping her. It's like the deal was already done, which is really bizarre. But that's just an observation that I noticed. You said, Ken, I don't need 5 million. Okay, thank you all for peering. If you have not yet, please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. I try to do different topics, not the same ordinary conversations that you get day in and day out with debates of our identity or whatever. And I've been on this kick for spiritual talk for a while, and I might be there for a little while longer. I don't know. It's just where my heart is going right now with what I've been seeing on YouTube, and actually the reactions to the deaths of these women that passed on. The responses to the deaths has really got me thinking about a lot of stuff spiritually too, and also what Anja had to say. So again, please have a nice day. Please like and share the video, and bless up.